Fulham will be looking to end the Premier League's longest current winless streak when they welcome London rivals West Ham to Craven Cottage on Saturday afternoon. Like we said, Scott Parker's men have gone 11 top flight games without a win, whereas West Ham have won 7 of our last 8 games across all competitions since the turn of the year. Yes, it's different territory for West Ham. Welcome back to West Ham Irons United. I am, of course, Anton. Normally we do the preview with Matt, but tonight we are bringing in an old school Irons United member, and it's Luke. How you doing, Luke? Look at your new setup, mate.
I know. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving up in the world.
Yeah, mate, and you sound crystal clear, mate. You sound crystal clear.
Makes such
good,
a difference.
Mate.
Lovely.
It does, mate. Listen, Fulham, mate, what's your thoughts? Brief thoughts.
Yes, I know. You know what I like. I like to go into detail, but just, yeah, they're a bit of a strange team this season. There's a Fulham fan at work, and I don't know any. I've never ever met a Fulham fan in my life. But he for I think a few weeks he was like, "Oh, we've got a few wins here and there," but they've gone back right down form-wise. They're a team that's looking like it's going to be a really hard relegation battle for them, but they've shown glimpses. They've shown glimpses of form, and you know they've got a few wins here and there, and you know some players in their team are looking good, some others aren't. They're just a strange team that is a bit. They're just fighting against themselves in a way. Once November. So it's going to be interesting how they come against us, especially from the last game they played. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Is that brief enough for you?
Yeah, mate, it certainly is. It certainly is. Well, listen, without further ado, as we do every single show, we bring in an opposition fan. So it's time to talk Fulham. Please welcome Nathan from the Fulhamish pod. Nathan, how you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm healthy. I'm alive. If we're not talking about Fulham, I'm doing pretty well. So yeah, nice to see you guys again.
Yeah.
I wish it was better circumstances, but you know, you play the cards you're dealt, right?
You certainly are, mate. We had a very brief chat beforehand before you came on, and you came on yourself last time round. I mean, even before we talk about it, let's take a look and see what happened last time out. I mean, mate, that penalty, Nathan. Listen, yeah. that game in particular was, West Ham. We were so lucky, West Ham fans, to get away with that. That was just a penalty, an awful penalty, is what stopped you from at least drawing that game.
Yeah, we've had a couple games like that, and you know what? I sort of Lookman took the penalty there, and he made a mare of it and had a bit of a bad one. But he's been class over the rest of the year. He's been he's been a great signing, great kid, and so I have a little bit of sympathy. But yeah, that's another one of those games. We have a series of the Mitchell missed a penalty against Sheffield United. We have a series of these games. You could argue the Liverpool handball that gave them a penalty that let them equalize against us, that were drop points in the year. And when you get to the end of things, that's probably what will send us down. I mean, but to be fair, we could talk about how it's been lately. We haven't won since the November 30th when we looked class against Leicester. And we had a good run of form over Christmas where we played some very tough teams. Scott had organized us in the back. We looked good. We're getting draws. We're really playing competitively. The problem is that, and we've been talking about this on the pod lately, is Scott knows how to build a defensive squad, knows how to do that. But we haven't figured out our attacking shape yet. And that is the problem. We've had a run of fixtures where we really needed to put some teams to the sword. We had West Brom, where we should have just rolled over them and had them, and we let them back in the game. So it's anything could happen. We've got a new striker coming in, but it's probably a bit too little, too late. I'm sort of already kind of thinking about the championship again. I
was going to say though, so are the fans behind Parker and what's happening and the building of the side? And
I think up until this point, you would have said yes. Scott has a lot of love in the club, and I think there's also a bit of frustration with us not getting our business done in the transfer window quite as early. And so, some of the blame gets placed there. But, the last run of fixtures that we've had, our performance in the FA Cup against Burnley was just horrible. West Brom, Leicester just tore us apart. A weakened Leicester team tore us apart. And I think there's some real questions being asked that go back to the start of the year where we were just getting hammered. Not to borrow a pun, there you go. Whether Scott is ready for the Premier League, and he's a young manager. He's got a lot of class, knows how to manage players, but does he have the sort of the tactical sort of abilities to do what you need to do to stay up? And I'm not convinced about that, and it's a bit concerning. Maybe he develops it with time. You saw Lampard and what happened at Chelsea with him, but. We've just not seen a real attacking shape and a real attacking thing, and maybe he develops that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so far this season, I'll come over to yourself. Look, you've conceded 33 goals. It's not a huge amount of goals to concede, considering the position you're in. What do you think of Scott Parker, Luke, in particular? There's a lot of West Ham fans, Nathan, that try to remove the connection between the two clubs, but between the fact that he used to play for the club and they've got a genuine love for him, and the fact that they genuinely think he's a good coach, and he needs time to build all that sort of stuff. Look, what do you rate him? Do you rate Parker?
I've always loved Parker. His time at West Ham was, he became a cult hero in a way, just the way he tried to drag West Ham out of their own relegation battles. And it was always intriguing to me, the stories that the players used to come out with cult etc., of how much of a leader he was in the dressing room, and the fact that he wasn't captain with the armband, but he was captain to all the players. For example, when we come back from West Brom, we drew 3-3. He reduced cult with tears just through his leadership in his speeches and stuff like that. I always wondered how he'd do in management, and it seems to me he's been given this Fulham team. He's got them out of the Championship. They won a playoff final that I don't think many people were expecting to win because of Brentford having Ben Rama and Ollie Watkins, etc. But since they've come up, I've watched a few Fulham games. I don't think they're terrible. The games I've seen them in particular, I don't think they've been terrible at all. It's just the fact that they've lost games and they've never really been beaten. Someone might correct me, but it's always been 1-0 or 2-1. He's not got a team that's getting absolutely smashed every week, getting pulverised. And as a player, it interests me actually that he's got quite a defensive setup, it sounds like, but he's always been a player that's die hard, you try hard, grit, determination, everything like that. But he also had a bit of flair about him, and if he's brought that to Fulham, unfortunately not getting results. But they don't seem that bad a team to me. And as a manager, he's a young manager. He's up and coming. This isn't the best we're going to see of Scott Parker, and maybe Fulham aren't getting that just yet. But great player for us, fantastic, and maybe might even manage West Ham in the future. We don't know, but at the moment, as Fulham, he's just learning. And unfortunately for Fulham, it's his learning time, and it's not him in his prime. But I think he's got a future ahead of him, and whether that's with Fulham or not, but I'll always have that love for Scott Parker, always, no doubt about that.
Obviously, Nathan, yous are lacking goals this season. 17 goals scored so far. I think De Cordova Reid is your top goal scorer with 5 goals, followed by Cavaliero and Lookman, as you've just been saying. But you've brought in a new striker in the transfer deadline day, a striker that West Ham were linked to actually for a few seasons, and a player I actually personally rate quite highly. Yeah. What's your thoughts on him?
I don't know. He's a young player. He's 22, and he does have kind of some upside and a lot of buzz around him. He's not, we're bringing him in on a loan when he's not done a huge amount, but at the same time, that's the only way you get a 22-year-old player. You're not going to, obviously when you have someone like Josh King, who's a bit more of a proven player, it costs you a bit more, and he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to really contribute. So this guy, Maja, he's coming in. I think he's got a real chance to make his mark. There's questions around whether Mitro is going to stay with the club after this season. I mean, he was kind of out of form and out of favor for a little bit. If we go back down to the championship, maybe there's a option to buy for Maja, so maybe he sticks around if he can string some things together. But we'll see. It's a real question of, he comes in. To be perfectly honest, like, unless he's the second coming of some sort of elite talent, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to keep us up, right? Like, he could come in and play very well. We've dug ourselves quite a hole. So, look, we'll see what happens. It's an interesting move, but it can't all be on him. We need Ruben Loftus-Cheek to start scoring some goals. We need all this sort of nice possession play. Luke, you made the point about Scott being sort of a heart on your sleeve. He does that with the team. Like, we don't doubt that. But, heart on your sleeve is not enough in the Premier League. You need to have some sort of intelligence. You need to know how to break down teams. And that's what, Moyes done really well for you guys in terms of figure out a system that works really well. And it's been impressive. This is some of the best football I've seen from West Ham in a long time. I think he got slagged off for a while, but he's obviously found a good fit. And, the question is whether Scott can find that fit or if he doesn't have that in him.
Yeah. Listen, you've got a player who as a West Ham fan, I look at. I think he's got so much potential to grow as a particular in the position that he is. And listen, I would love one day if West Ham could try and take him off your hands. But his name is Areola, your goalkeeper.
Oh God, have y'all enjoyed watching? Have you watched him play at all?
Yes,
pretty
mate.
good, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is way too good to be playing for us right now. I mean, there's an option to buy apparently on him for I think about 10 million. And if you could convince him to stay with us in the championship, that's a small price to pay. He is absolutely top tier level of keeping. Like I'd put him against some of the best teams in the league and say I'd still prefer having Areola. He's confident, knows how to run his lines. Can make those sort of snap saves. He's just mature. He's a professional. I mean, there's something, you guys have had Fabianski. He's been around for forever, and he is that professional. He does the job when you need him to come in and do it. And so we've gotten lucky with Areola. I mean, it'll be hard to keep him, but we'll do the best we can.
I think, Luke, as well, when we talk about that, you don't want to come across like West Ham are going to go and take that player. But, of course, clubs look at the teams that have either struggling in the league potentially or, as you said, Nathan, you're kind of expecting the championship potential drop. And, West Ham, in my opinion, should be looking at a player of the quality of Areola. I mean, look, you've probably seen a bit of him this season as well. I think he's probably helping Fulham try to get results over the table. He's probably, you've only conceded 33 goals considering you're, what, is it 8 points from safety?
And let's be honest, you got to remember we've only conceded 33 goals. And if you look at the first 6 games of the year, we shipped a ton of goals early. So it's like take those out of the mix, and it's like not that ton of goals going rest.
Yeah. So what do you think of Areola, Luke?
He was really unlucky against West Ham, to be fair. I think you can see this disappointment when Suchek put the goal past him. But he's played for PSG, and there's always something about you that if you've played for a top team, whether you get in the team first team or not, but if you've even been signed to a top team that's in the Champions League, there has to be something about you in the first place to be of that quality. In regards to him playing for a relegation team or relegation batting team, we got Fabianski from Swansea. Relegated player, and look how he was for us. Dawson has come from Watford, and he's been an absolute star for us this season. So just because a player gets relegated, I'm not saying Fulham are, don't think I'm digging or anything like that, but just because of it doesn't mean to say they're not good players. But the way it's very difficult for a goalkeeper or a defender to maybe look good in a team that's struggling. Because they don't get watched 24/7, they don't get micro-analysed by a lot of fans who just see the highlights, see the goals, he must be terrible. But it's not always the way. He's a young goalkeeper and coming up, and if West Ham aren't going to keep Fabianski that much longer, then why not get him training, get him settled into the team, and in the future maybe he could be a world beater. You just never know with certain players. Thank you for that, Gary J, by the way.
Yeah, cheers for that, mate. Thank you.
Very kind of you. But yeah, he looks like an alright goalkeeper. It's the team itself is struggling. Maybe they're doing better, it'd be an even better goalkeeper, but I think I like what I've seen of him so far.
Absolutely, mate. Well, Nathan, let's come on to the Leicester game. You know, last time out, it wasn't a good day out of the office, but the team you put out that day, I'm bringing up on the screen. And in relation to the game tomorrow, West Ham are travelling to Craven Cottage. What do you expect? Do you expect any changes? Do you expect the same team? You know, is there any enforced changes there?
Yeah, I mean, no, there's no enforced changes. I mean, I think like Harrison Reed's one of been a star of the year. He's just so reliable, a very Scott Parker sort of player, just putting in a shift. I don't think much will probably shift for tomorrow. The only question will be up top whether Maja gets a start. He couldn't play the other night, so you might see him come in. And then the other player that didn't play the other night, which you can see is Bobby Decadova-Reid, who's our top goal scorer. Maybe slot him into the place where Tete is. So those are the two players that I would look to see come in. I'm not really entirely sure how Scott's going to try to organize that. We looked a bit of a mess up top the other night. Ruben and Mitro didn't really seem to know kind of how to fit with each other. Then Leicester tore us apart on the counterattack. So we'll see. That's kind of the only one I'd really look for. Otherwise, I think it'll probably be, most of that side is going to stay the same. You're not going to see too many changes.
Yep. Before we come on to maybe like predictions, etc., what's your kind of take on West Ham from an opposition point of view?
Yeah.
And how do you think Parker is going to set up, or what's he going to say to his players when he comes across, the likes of what West Ham have been doing so far this season?
Well, when we played y'all last time, if I remember correctly, Antonio was still out for that game, so you had Haller in there. I watched a bit of the match the other night, and that strike force of Antonio, Benrahma, and Lingard is a pretty potent one right now. That's a lot of creativity. That's a nice bit of strength. I love Antonio. He's class. And when you've got Souček and sort of the rest of the back line that are doing what they're doing there, you're a tough side to break down. I don't think Scott will come out too offensively. I'd like to see him. Try to go at y'all and see what would happen. I mean, there's nothing to lose. Kind of put everything out on the table. But realistically, I could see him kind of having them sit back and try to take their chances. You've not been struggling too much. So if you're looking for ways to break the team down, maybe it's hitting you on the counter. But you're pretty solid top to bottom. I think the biggest thing for you is just looking past Fulham is that Moyes doesn't have everyone ready to go out and ready to sort of be there from minute one. Something could happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, you want to add anything before we ask Nathan the most interesting question, which is his predictions?
No, I'd just like to say good luck for the rest of the season. No, that's not the thing. Look, West Ham are having a mental season at the moment, but normally we know exactly what it's like to be in that position. I am personally still in shock at how our season's going, and I don't want to say anything about it in case I jinx it. But for Fulham, I've seen Fulham play. I don't think they're a bad team. They've been maybe unlucky. There's certain things in this Premier League that you get punished for that you wouldn't get punished in the lower leagues for, and I would like Scott Parker to do well. I've got a lot of respect for him at the time West Ham, as I said. It's weird. I've got a bet with a mate that this Fulham mate at work, a tenner, that he'll stay up, because from what I saw a little while back, I haven't watched any highlights or anything for the last few games, but I think if Fulham can get a few results, which can happen, I think they could make it. I think they could survive relegation. I might be wrong there, and I hope I'm not.
Luke, man, the last couple of games are when I sort of, up until that point, I would have said exactly the same. I thought we played really well over Christmas. Mm-hmm. We were sort of stringing them together. We had some really winnable fixtures where we should get some results that we didn't get. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm happy to see West Ham play. Y'all are playing nice football. I mean, that's kind of the good thing, is like with Big Sam coming back or some of these others, like at least you're not playing ugly, sort of nasty football. So you got to be happy with that. You're not only staying at the top of the table, but you look like you belong. For us, we'll see. There are worse clubs to be at. We're sort of in the yo-yo status right now, but there's still a large number of clubs that would kill to even have that sort of luxury of fighting to get up to the Premier League and to stay up. So, and we'll see.
Well, Nathan, listen, mate, it takes us to that interesting time. Give us your predictions for the game tomorrow night, mate.
You know what? Let's go Fulham 2-1. Just why don't we just get wild here?
Yeah, mate. Listen, I hope it's not true, but you're more than entitled You're more than entitled to give your honest opinion. And listen, 9 times out of 10, look, we always say that when a club is struggling for a result, up steps West Ham. We're just hoping that Moyes has potentially changed that for the better now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he has, and we don't have to do that. But yeah, Nathan, listen, mate, thank you so much for coming on again.
Of course,
and hopefully,
always good. It's good to see you guys, and you always got a good fan community, and the rest of that. It's always funny to see the comments come in. So enjoy the ride. Y'all do have Bonanza's owners, or Bananas, like sort of just crazy people at the top. But you seem like you got a good manager. Don't screw that up. Don't screw the players that you got coming up. Like something's working right now.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, listen, all the best after tomorrow. That is for the rest of the season. And listen, I'll happily take Areola off your hands if you want rid of him. I
don't know, man. I have a lot of love for him, so you have to fight for him. And enjoy Fredericks. He apparently had a good game for y'all the other night with Grealish. He did, mate. He did, mate, and we're myself and Luke are going to go off on a West Ham tangent now and discuss players like Fredericks, etc. So listen, mate, thank you so much for coming on. Later.
Take it easy, mate.
Bye.
Yeah, cool. Like, mate, good to have an opposition fan on again, isn't it? And it gives you a really good insight. Gives you such a good insight into the way that gives you such good insight into what they're thinking as a club, and I think it's easy for us to. What's this? Let's go make a cuppa. It's easy for us to sit here and go, oh, this is how they've been playing, this is what they've been doing. But in actual fact, you hear from the horse's mouth, and it sounds like a lot of Fulham fans have maybe become accustomed to the fact that maybe they are heading down. But I certainly don't think for a second, mate, that they're giving up.
No, there's got to be some fight in them left. I mean, no fan really, it takes a lot for you to be defeated. You'll get a bit of hope before games starting, etc. But like I said to him, I've got a feeling that they're going to be okay. I don't know why, but I think it's maybe just the way they're playing. They're not getting beaten 4-5-0 by teams. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yep, it certainly will be, mate. Well, listen, let's talk about our beloved West Ham, mate. Looky boy, Aston Villa game. I've been buzzing all week. I have been buzzing since that game from a couple of days ago, mate. I have absolutely been buzzing. I've been talking to people from when I'm walking down the street from distance, of course. Don't worry, social distancing and all that malarkey. Speaking to people on the phone, texting people, and I'm just like, did you just watch that game? Because what I saw was a performance that I've not saw for such a long time. Like, it's up there. It's really up there, the performance, mate.
Yeah, I only saw the first half because I've been on nights this week, so I had to go work for the second half. But what I saw was I expected there was a few chances for Villa, and I was a bit worried, but it just seemed like a really good battle from both teams. And I'm going to get onto Lingard in a minute. I'm going to paint him all roses. Don't worry about that. But he changed us. I think his inclusion changed us. But the inclusion of Fredericks on the right hand side was another thing. But generally, mate, it was one of them games where you kind of, like you said I think you said in the Matchday Live and in the highlights and words afterwards, was that it takes your emotions. You're emotional. It's an energy to watch games, and you get so passionate that you almost feel tired after a game. And it's one of them games where you go, we have to win this to keep up pressure. And again, like I said many times this season, it's a game that isn't one of the top 6, but it's still a good side. It's around you. You've got to win them games, and we have been, mate. We have been winning them games. And I don't know, you still look knackered after it, which is fair enough. I
totally was, mate. But I think I was just sitting there, and I was just enjoying myself. It was it was a really enjoyable game of football. Of course, that element of fear set in when Watkins got that goal, but at the end of the day, mate, we bounced back. We've done something that we don't do, and we just quickly ended that threat, and it was just so enjoyable to watch. Yeah, it really was, mate. Listen, let's go and hear what David Moyes has been saying in his press conference, which includes your favourite music. Look. What did the gaffer have to say? First up, mate,
he's talking music. It's weird.
First up, he's been talking about that man, Jesse Lingard. Jesse has an infectious character and he's more mature boy now. He's getting to the prime of his career and he wants to be on the pitch. We don't want to get carried away with one game, but we have to say we are really pleased with him and he did a great job as well, mate. He, from the offset, mate, from minute one, you could tell what impact he was going to have on the game and what impact he had on other players such as Ben Rama.
Do you know what? He was mentally 10 seconds ahead of everyone else. And I think if people cast their minds back a little bit, when we first got Alex Song from Barcelona, we were doing really well. And it was mainly down to his influence. And if you look at the way players like him and of that ilk play, you know, they mentally are just ahead, that their thinking process, the way they move, the way they play, the way they control things, you can tell that they've almost got the game in the cusp of their hands, in the palm of their hands, and they can decide what tempo the guys play at, what tempo everyone moves at. And his link-up play with Ben Rama, with Antonio, with Fredericks even at times on the wing, he's everywhere, and he's dribbling, and the way he is, I think. I've talked to family members over the years, and I've talked to friends as well. When you see a good player, they always seem to have time on the ball. And he just seemed just a level above. And okay, he's Jesse Lingard, he wasn't Man United's best player and stuff like that, but it's almost like not to say small pond, but big fish in a small pond. When they come down, they bring that level with them. And we've looked great this season. Don't get me wrong, we've looked brilliant this season, but he upped us to an extra level. Maybe if he hadn't been playing, we wouldn't have been playing at that level. We actually wouldn't have won the game like we did. But it reminds me of when we first got Alex Song, we first got Payet. It's the influence they have to bring players up to their level, and he was calm, cool, and effective for me anyway. But I'd say one other thing I did like, the goals we scored. We weren't taking a lot of time over them. We were getting them. We were getting the ball on the edge of the box, taking control, and then bang. We weren't trying to get near the goalkeeper. We weren't trying to play it to someone else. We were confident, and we were taking it. And both of his goals, left foot, right foot. Keeper might have been able to do better on both shots, but he gave it that much force, and he took the shot that quickly. It caught him off guard. And two, all three goals, brilliant. It's just he's had an influence, obviously. You all right, lad?
Can you hear me? Sorry, I've just realised I was too busy talking and no one could hear me. Let's move on to the next one. Look at that, love it. We've got to stay in the same form, the same consistency, and not pick up too many injuries. If we want to stay up there, we're in an excellent position, and I still think we can do more. We showed good form in midweek after a couple of games where we weren't quite so good. There's room for improvement, and if we do improve, that'll help us keep us there too. That's Moyes discussing the fact that we're up there and in the top 5. So he's pleased, but he doesn't want to get too carried away, and it's tough not to, mate. It's tough not to.
For us.
You need good bits of fortune in football, and they missed a penalty. This is in relation to West Ham playing Fulham the last time out. They missed a penalty in the last minute when they played us at home, and would have got them a point. They missed, and that was a bit of luck for us. It's another game. Fulham have improved greatly since that period of the season, so we'll get there expecting a really tough game. So, yeah, there's some breaking news as well. I mean, I don't know how legit this is, but is it legit? If you give us a thumbs up and let us know if it's 100% legit. Is it? If you can hear us, can you hear us? Yeah, it's legit. Apparently, West Ham have signed a free agent, an Algerian striker. I don't know if this is me trying to catch me out. I don't know where we're getting this from, but we don't know. We'll kind of think about that and have a look at it later on and come away from my train of thought. He's caught me out. That was good. That was good banter. If you can all gather who that is in the background, I was worried. That's why I didn't say the name. I was worried. But
I was slightly distracted as well.
If you are all watching here and you can pick out, you know exactly who that was in the background. Everyone, right? You know exactly who that was. Trust me. He thinks that's one each. That might be one each. I am going to go for the winner, and I'm going to go to the next level. And the man that's going to help me go to the next level is him right there. Right, so watch this space. Let's see what he's saying now. He's talking about the rest of the team. So they're all fine. Arthur Masuaku has started jogging yesterday, so hopefully he's only a month or so away from being back. We're trying to keep everybody as fit as we can, and it's a really difficult period for us at the moment with the amount of games in the schedule. But our professionalism, getting ourselves ready for the amount of games, has been brilliant with the quick turnaround. In relation though, look, to the Villa game, I want to talk to you about a couple of players, and this one first up, Soufal, mate. This is his stats for the game. He had 6 clearances, 2 crosses, 3 tackles, 1 shot on target, 2 key passes, 1 dribble, and he had Grealish in his back pocket, mate. Talk to me about Soufal.
In short, incredible. And I'm not even papering my words over there. He's old school, first of all. But he's a hard worker. But basically, he's Souček, but a right back. He did, both of them are carbon copies, and maybe if Soufal got a chance in front of goal, he'd start popping them in like Souček does. But he was no nonsense. But I think he was helped as well in the Villa game by Fredericks. I think Moyes has to take credit for that tactical there because they both worked together. But since he's come into the club, Fredericks, I think everyone knew that Fredericks was a good player, but he wasn't the best player in the team. A lot of his sort of ability was helped by the fact that he was so quick. So if he was made a mistake in defence, he could, recover by sprinting after the player and getting back. But Soufal, as soon as he's come in, has just made that right back spot his own. And for me, the team's changed. This Masuaku's been injured. We haven't been able to play, back 3, etc. But he's got an engine. He just never stops. The guy just loves playing and playing and playing. What did he say the other day? Is he likes playing 3 games, one after the other. I mean, most footballers moan that they're playing too much. He absolutely loves it. I know that Souček eats potato salad. I don't know what he's eating. Just the engine oil. Honestly, the guy is just—he's amazing. He's 28 years old, so he's in his prime. We're lucky enough to put him in his prime. But you look at a player like him, and you just think to yourself, just fair play, lad, and long may it continue. But he is one of many players. But as he is, he's just, the fact that he kept Grealish quiet all night, I love him even more. I might even just get a poster on the back wall, the wallpaper in the back, just a poster,
He really was. Like, get your comments in and talk to me about Soufal, but he just absolutely, I thought he had a disappointing game against Liverpool, but he's I think everyone at the game against, he certainly wasn't the only one. Want to talk to you about Fredericks, mate. The inclusion of Fredericks. Get comments in on the wallpaper, mate. There was a surprise inclusion that he was in the starting 11, but he turned up and he gave a job. Why do you think it was, mate? Why do you think he did?
Yeah, I think he's looked at it. Look, at this point, I'm not going to question Moyes anymore because I can't praise him enough with what he's done, and it was a very, very left field thing to do. And I thought in myself, it possibly could have been a back 3 with Soufal as a right-sided centre-back, because he's made Creswell a left-sided centre-back and he's a left-back all his life, so it wouldn't have made much difference there. But Fredericks has got the pace, and that's a massive thing for a winger. Whether you've got the crossing ability, passing ability, shooting ability, if you've got pace, you can make it happen on the wing. And to play in right wing and for him to have the game he does, it also possibly one of them things where he's playing players in new positions. This is what I said about Antonio. He's played players in new positions, and they're actually thriving in it. So possibly, we're all saying Fredericks isn't a great right back. He could be a great right winger. So he could play in 2 positions. Again, at some point I've got to stop praising Moyes, but he is just finding a way to get the best out of these players, barring the Liverpool game, obviously, because Liverpool with their own team. But he's just finding a way to get the best out of these players, and they're not even world beaters. They're just normal players for West Ham, and he's getting the best. He is the Moyes sire, no matter when he's the Moyes sire.
He is, mate. And listen, look how professional we are. We're getting ripped to shreds, but we're just still going with it, mate. But yeah, no. Listen, when we saw that starting 11, we definitely thought that there was a few shocks in there. I was trying to see the positives out of the scenario, and I think we got to see the positives. Fredericks offered pace one side. Lingard really was the massive difference. But another player we need to discuss, mate, is that man himself, Thomas Souček. I mean, he's now banged in 8 goals this season. He has been an absolute machine, hasn't he, in the middle of the park?
Yeah, it does kind of surprised me that he hasn't been taken on by anyone else, because he's played Champions League before Prague. Possibly playing for us in the Premier League has made him up his level, and he's challenging himself. And many players, when they're put in a position where they need to up their game, they thrive on it. They thrive on the pressure of being in a different league, being in a different team. But he's not only what we've needed, but he's more than that, and he's doing stuff now that we almost just go, well, Rice and him in the them two complement each other. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But his finishing, he's like a top class striker. So you've got someone in midfield. He's not only a great defender. He's not only running the midfield. He's also, when he gets up front, he's more deadly than Antonio. I mean, he's Superman, Super Suchik, and he is.
Actually, well, let me talk to you about some of his stats. He's got 8 goals this season, so he's number 1 in the charts of the West Ham player. When it comes to passes, he's 3rd on the table with 886. He's had 39 shots at goal. He's number 1 for shots at goal at West Ham. He's number 2 for tackles behind Soufal with 44 tackles. He has won 127 aerial battles for West Ham, being number 1 in there as well. And he's got 57 clearances for us, number 3 in the table. And he's got 31 interceptions, number 2 for West Ham. Mate, stats. Yeah, you say the stats, but on top of that, it's just all-round play, his demeanour, everything he brings to the side. Him and Rice, just so effective, mate.
Isn't it? I think it's Nigel when he comes on. He says he doesn't really like to hear stats. He likes just to watch the game itself and see the player. And I'm a little bit the same, to be fair. Stats I don't really take much interest in. And personally, I mean, I do it for this show when they want me to do it. I include them, but I'm not a huge fan of them overall. But it's the influence of the players, and he's been brought in. He's up the level. Lingard's come in. He's up the level. So Moyes is finding these players that can just progress West Ham. I know he's been linked to Bayern Munich, and I know you guys said in the last video that it's going to be more tricky to keep hold of him than it is to keep hold of Rice. And possibly that is true. But I've said last season that if West Ham want to keep hold of players like Rice and Suchik, they have to compete. And we are. I'm sorry, Matt. You're not here, mate. Sorry. If you were, you could do the stats all day long, and fair play, you're really good at them. Well, they call you Stato. But if we want to compete and keep these players, we have to be up at the top, and we are. So I'm less worried now about players leaving. I'm less worried about Rice and Suchik leaving. They might still leave. We don't know. Summer's a big, it's a big summer this season. But potato salad, man. I might even stop eating potato salad myself. See if it has an effect on me at work.
Theo, do me a favour. Quickly, let me know what you're meaning by that. Can you hear a funny noise? Can you hear a noise coming off of my mic?
When you turned your mic off to let me talk, I thought something gone wrong with my computer. So I was about to make my point on Lingard, and I went, "Hold on, have I gone off again?" But you can definitely hear there's an echo.
See, I can hear.
For one, the reason why I'm saying for once, mine is working perfectly, and I'm taking full advantage of it because you said it's out my Wi-Fi.
Let's see. I don't know if anyone else is saying it, but we'll see. We'll see what everyone else says in the chat. People are asking us though, is this video currently sponsored by OneFootball? Well, we don't even know if OneFootball really want to come back anymore, because I think we've probably, I don't know what we've done, but I mean, there's a couple of sponsorship videos here.
I knew you worth the effort.
So just keep your comments in and let me know your thoughts on some of these we've got for a treat for you tonight. Let's have a look at this one. Please download the OneFootball app. What's that? I love it. Absolutely.
Took me about an hour, I think, them three to do.
Yeah, it was this one as well. But honestly, I'm sorry. We are trying to take this serious, but of course, have a look at this.
OneFootball have teamed up with West Ham United in sponsoring our channel for the Matchday Live videos, our highlights.
But they haven't teamed up for this video, so we do apologise for that. But listen, if you're in the background and you can see what we're doing, yeah, that's 2-1, and I'll get you back again on top of that when it comes to your show. Try to take this as serious as we can, mate. Try to take it serious.
That,
Let's talk about. I want to talk about though the man of the moment, Jesse Lingard. At the game against Villa, he had 6 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals, 44 passes, 91% pass completion. On top of that, mate, I mean, I think in his first half he ran 6k in the game, and what I saw from not just Lingard but from Benrahma, mate, was just chasing the ball down left, right and centre. You know, I was lying in bed that night as well and I was thinking, we've got Thomas Souček and we've got Declan Rice who are performing to the highest level, driving forward, protecting, you know, all that stuff, covering so much ground. Now you've got Lingard from the first minute, mate, deafening touches. Like you said, he does think ahead. He's 10 seconds ahead. And people are saying he's not match fit. If he's not match fit and he gave us that performance, it's tough not to get carried away. It is. It's
scary. You know, we've got Fulham this week, and it's going to be against a team that are desperate themselves. But he'll be coming from a team like Man United, where winning, you win. Don't matter who you're against, you win. And West Ham this season have kind of had that mantra as well. So, look, Antonio hasn't been scoring recently, but well, yeah.
Thanks, Toby. Cheers, mate.
We're getting sponsorship ourselves, not from OneFootball, from people in the chat. It's their own sponsors now. But, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah, mate, it just seems to be such an effective player, and you always say that when you've got a player of that, when you've got a player of that ability, though, other players who are good raise their standards. And I'm not trying to say Benrahma's not been playing well. I'm not saying that, but he is like his level raised up, didn't it?
It did. 100%. I will say to people, look, it has been one game. There's a level that people can put themselves on a pedestal, or people put them on a pedestal, and they can't reach that level again. Fulham's a completely different kettle of fish to Aston Villa. It's going to be a completely different game. I'm not putting it down at all, but you're right. Benrahma and him, you could tell the minute he got the ball, Benrahma was looking up, looking for Lingard, passed the ball away, then making a movement. And you'd have to look back on old games this season to see whether they're having the same effect. You know, if players are playing with that much energy going forward, and you know they're looking for the passes as well as they were the other night. But the partnerships are going to be brilliant. And it is the we didn't sign anyone in January. We only signed Lingard, but we've actually got options for places now. And it's like I said, you know, possibly we don't even need that many strikers. If we've got players in the midfield scoring, Souček and Lingard, and you know Antonio stays fit, and like you said, he made the goal, the first goal. You know, that his hold-up play. What's there to moan about? You know? Yeah, absolutely. Get your comments in and let us know your thoughts. By the way, it's very hard to talk seriously because you start laughing as soon as I'm sort of reading it. I'm not, mate. It gives me a chance to look at the comments, and sometimes you just think you just wish you were diving in about the comments and having a good old chinwag. I've got it in my head. In the future, I'm going to be doing a video purely based on comments. Thanks, words and pictures, mate. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very kind. Listen, we had a lovely comment from someone, actually. I can't remember who it was. Look, you pinpointed it to me the other day. I need to have we'll look it out and try and put it up as well. But we'll keep moving through the game. 2 bits of news that came out today was the man himself, David Moyes, 6 wins out of 7 games. It's been shortlisted for Premier League's Manager of the Month award for January. Much deserved, isn't it, Luke? Yeah, it is. He's like I said in my post, a little article I did a little while back, that he's not getting the adulation from the media that he should be. He's been going sort of under the radar. But a lot of people saying this league is drunk. I don't really think I agree, because most of the teams I can hear you typing in the background. I will get through this preview. Most of the teams are where you think they would be. You've got the Manchester clubs, you've got Liverpool, you've got City. You know, you've got Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United all trying to survive relegation. Genuinely, apart from this is weird, apart from us, everyone's kind of where you think they might be. So I don't know why the media aren't picking up on it. Maybe they just like the fact that he was a failed Man United manager, and then he's not done well since then. But for me, he's gone from strength to strength with us. He's done it twice, and second time over. He thoroughly deserves his credit. Absolutely, 100%. Good luck to him. Hope he wins it. Yeah, not just him, mate, though. Not just him, mate. Craig Dawson's been named as one of the nominees for Player of the Month as well for January. He's came in, mate, and he's just absolutely dominated that defence. You know, against Aston Villa, alongside
Ogbonna. I mean, you're looking at Ogbonna's stats; they're fantastic stats, and because he's only played 4 or 5 games, his stats aren't reaching that level. But he's just slotted in, and you can't see a future for any other player to nip in there right now. You can't.
I honestly, I'm feeling sorry for Balbuena because he was a rock at the back before he got taken out and Dawson replaced him. But I think it's a good thing that players are coming in and they're cementing their places. They're not just coming in for a couple of games and then Moyes is going, right, out you go. You know, so-and-so's going to take his place. But again, it's good that these players are coming in and they know they have to perform well to stay in that team. And, you know, he's was he 31, 32, something like that? I think he's even that old, to be fair. But he's becoming a fox in the box from corners, from you know, getting the goals in as well. He's like Souček. You know, we don't need a striker. We've got a defender and midfielder scoring goals. Yeah. He's a rock at the back, and I think he's so you've got Ogbonna and him. Ogbonna's the more ball playing centre back, and he's the far more, you know, hit him hard centre back. And fair play. Hopefully we can get a deal done in the summer and buy him permanently, because I don't think there'd be a chance that anyone doesn't want to take him on. But he's like, we could talk about one player. The whole team as a unit are playing brilliantly, and it's just great to see. And fair play to him. Hope he wins it as well. Hope he wins his award. Yep,
absolutely. Get your comments in and let us know who you would like to see in the starting 11 against Fulham tomorrow night. Let's bring up the team that we put out against Villa, of course. Beautiful. I mean, let's be brutally honest here, mate. Is there going to be any changes for the game against Fulham tomorrow?
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't think there was going to be changes for the Villa game, and there was. They're a totally different kettle of fish. Aston Villa are trying to be, you know, they're trying to push for the top 6 like us. Fulham are trying to survive relegation. They don't seem to be a long ball team though, Fulham, so they're probably trying to play a bit of football. I think Lookman's probably going to look for a bit of revenge after his penalty miss last time, which was the greatest penalty of all time. Thank you for that, Lookman. But it's going to be interesting how he wants to fit. I was thinking the other day, Lingard has had a fantastic game, but it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't start him, because purely down to the fact that, you know, he maybe isn't match fit as he wants him to. He wants to try put 4 nails in or something like that. Try and go a different way, not smash and grab. Try and, you know, actually get the incentive on the game, give us more possession, etc. I wouldn't be surprised, because I wouldn't expect Fredericks to be in right wing. So what do I know? Well, I do know a lot because I'm on this program, this channel. So, you know, I do know a lot of people. You know, don't forget that. But yeah.
I think when it comes to you know, the potential inclusion or the inclusion of Lingard, I mean, it's worked wonders, and I think right now you can't afford to remotely even consider dropping him, and I don't think Moyes would anyway, because he was so effective in the game. But not just the fact that he was so effective for his own performance, but how much he improved other players. You know, he pulled players away from areas that they should have been in protecting, and that allowed players like Fredericks to run forward and use his pace to get forward. I mean, did you see that clip? I think people are now doing memes out of that clip of Fredericks running down the right hand side, taking on the player.
Just to cut you out, it's meme.
Sorry, you know what I mean.
I can't let it go. It's just annoying.
But you know, he done a job, mate. He's done really well. But loads of people in the chat are potentially suggesting that Fredericks doesn't continue in this, and Bowen steps back in to the position. Now, either way, mate, when you look at that side, if you were to change, I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying this. If it was to stay the same and Fredericks is playing in that position, I would be happy. If Bowen was to come in, I would be happy. But then you've just got to look at, some people are saying bring Bowen in for Fredericks, some people are saying bring Bowen in for Antonio, mate. But the thing is, add Bowen to Lingard, Benrahma and Antonio, I mean, that's a pretty frightening forward line. And to add to it, I want to talk to you about Antonio as well, because a lot of people were kind of, you know, he didn't have the best first half, but my word, he raised his tempo in the second half and he was so effective against Villa.
Yeah, he did, but Bowen's a completely different player to Fredericks. Fredericks is very much get the ball, run as fast as you can. You know, Bowen's more technical ability, hard work. I don't think Bowen's had a particularly bad game this season. I know he's taken out, but he wasn't that effective, and Fredericks been more effective in that game. But Bowen, I think, can step up his game if he gets another chance. Maybe it's a wake-up call saying, no, you need to do better. Antonio, for me, I didn't think he was that bad in the first half. He probably did step up his game in the second half, and it shows because he's got 3 goals out of it. Fredericks, for me, if he does keep his, it depends what way we play. If he wants to go a gung-ho attitude, then I think Fredericks will play because he's got the pace to combat against Fulham. But if he wants to have a slow, try and maybe get a counter-attacking game going again, he might have Bowen as well. But it's who knows who's going to play, because it looks like it's effective every game anyway. Apart from Liverpool game, but they were their own team.
And Hammer Mulder there just said there Lingard can't play in the cup, so run him into the ground. There's an element but the thing is, we're going to have an opportunity to rest the likes of like Lingard, who will probably play tomorrow night, and the likes of Antonio. That's why I would start with Antonio. I have no interest really in dropping him, and I get why people are saying it if you base it on his first half performance, but in a second half performance, and I was doing the Matchday Live and I kept saying it was created or started from the effectiveness of what Antonio was doing. And I think Antonio just took the first half to get familiar with what the hell was happening behind him, because because I said this again, Lingard is always in that box. He presses the defence. I can hear the little bit of the back me talking over
I can't hear
the echo. It's just a little bit, but it must be something to do. We'll work it out through time. But you can see that Lingard drives forward. You can see he covers so much ground. He's always in the box. He's always attacking. And Antonio's not been used to that. Mate, there was no gaps between the striker and the midfield because of the Lingard effect. It sounds like we're just completely here licking Lingard backside up and down the park. But we are, mate. We are. And that's how much he made a difference. And it took Antonio 45 minutes to get familiar with what he was doing.
God, that picture worries me because of his hamstring.
Stretching.
Yeah, it doesn't. But the most frustrating thing for me was I had 2-1 Lingard to score any time. So 3-1 got me out of the bet. But I'll lose bets all day long if West Ham win. But yeah, the whole process, we were playing well anyway. That's the scary thing. We were playing well anyway. We were getting wins anyway. But now this has just upped it to another level. And like I said, Fulham's a completely different kettle of fish. We're going to have to take it, a completely different way. But if we show what we have done in the next few games, there's no reason why we can't win and win effectively. I wouldn't change it too much. To be fair, if you've got a winning team, why change it? But I can't see Fredericks keep on the right wing all the time. But maybe he will do. Maybe become the new Masuaku. Maybe we go free at the back tomorrow and we have Fredericks as the right wing back. I'm not sure, but whatever he does, I'm not going to question it at all.
Yeah. Make sure you get your predictions in the comments. So I'm bringing up the starting 11 again, Matt, look, because we were obviously
we look alike, don't we?
We were obviously talking about what changes we would make. I personally wouldn't make any changes, and I physically don't see Moyes making changes. I think this is a really good opportunity for Moyes to kick on and show intent. The intent has to come, because we didn't show the intent against the likes of Liverpool when we could have turned up and at least given a bit of fight. So do you see any changes, mate?
Well, I wouldn't say no, because the way that the last game turned out, who would have thought Fredericks would be in the right wing, as I've said. So I can see the only way that changing is Fredericks for Bowen, like other people have said. Apart from that, maybe Lingard gets dropped to the bench just to keep him safe. But like you say, I can't really see it. It's just one thing I'm thinking of. But that seems to me like especially that back four. Creswell's having the best season of his life for the last 5-6 years. So why change it? But if he does change it, obviously he'll have his own ideas about it, and fair play Moyes if he does.
Yep, absolutely. Well, look, it brings us to that time where we talk about our predictions, mate. So hit me up tomorrow night. West Ham Fulham. We go to Craven Cottage, and we will be doing a match day live, of course. So make sure you tune in and watch that, and join us and have a good chin wag and have a laugh, because either way, it's always a good laugh. But look, what's your predictions, mate, for tomorrow night?
I'm not going to go 2-1 again because I lost my bet the other night. But I'm going to go for something like 4-1. Last time we played Fulham away, we won fairly comfortably, but they're the worst team back then, and their defence is a bit better this year, especially with that goalkeeper in. Lingard, go for it. Lingard and Souček, all the goals. No, I think I'm going to go for I've never gone for a big scoreline this year. I don't think so. I'm going to go for the first time ever. I'm going to go for Lingard to get on the score sheet, Antonio to score again, Souček and Dawson. And I will put a bet on it because knowing my luck we'll win anyway, but I'll probably lose some money out of it. But I'm going to go for 4-1. I can see them scoring. I think Bobby Reid. I think Bobby Reid will score because he's their top scorer. So why not 4-1?
I think when it comes to Fulham, I always have the fact that they've brought in a player. Sorry, when a team signs a player who's got a point to prove, Maja's coming in, he's on loan.
Yep.
He's always going to be up for it. It's always going to be something to keep an eye on. I don't know, mate. I'm confident. If Lingard hadn't signed, I would have probably said that we would have maybe gone out 1-0 victors, because I think for the rest of the, prior to that, we played teams and we thought we should have turned up and won the game, but we didn't. We drew Southampton, Brighton, all that sort of stuff. But Lingard adds a whole new dynamic to the side, so I'm going to try and be confident and say 3-1 to West Ham. Let's
always
go have
do
a look.
3-1. Always do.
I haven't, made the last couple of weeks. That means you haven't been watching the preview the last couple of weeks.
I just haven't listened to you in your predictions.
Let's go and have a listen and see what a few other people who come on the show on a regular occasion think the result will be.
Hi guys, it's Jake from West Ham Unofficial back. In terms of the game against Fulham tomorrow, I think it's going to be quite easy. I think we should fear, I know he had a poor penalty against us in the reverse fixture, but Ademola Lookman I think could be a threat for them, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's a great young striker, so we need to fear him. But I think we do have enough quality in our side, even if we put out not our strongest side, rest a couple of players that I think need resting, so we can go again with a full strength side against Man United in the Cup on Tuesday. But I think who they should fear our main people. Souček, he's on fire at the moment, Dawson, and hopefully Antonio up front, and perhaps Lingard as well. To be fair, I've just named half the team, but we've just got so much threat going forward at the moment. It's just nice to see. My prediction, 3-0 West Ham, should be good. We've got enough quality to beat them if we play anything near our best. Come on, your irons.
Got to love that, mate. He was like, "You're gonna fear Fabianski, Sufal, Dawson, Ogbonna." I've just named half the team.
Just saying that. Do you remember at the start of the season when I said that I can see Antonio scoring 10 goals and Souček scoring 10 goals, and you and Still both went, "Oh, come on, mate! Not all scored 10 goals, are they?"
No, I know. Listen, I know, but one prediction I did have was that I thought Souček would get double figures, and I really wish I'd put that bet on at the start of the season. But listen, we're not finished there. Let's go over and see what else someone else has got to say.
Hi guys, Russ from Miami's 11. In terms of who I'm worried about for the Fulham game, I'm worried about that left-hand side. That left-hand side is proper rapid. Fulham played really well when they played us at London Stadium. So, maybe Lookman going out to the left with Robertson overlapping. That's the area I'm worried about. I'm worried about that, to be honest. So, potentially that's why we might keep Fredericks and we might keep Kufal. There's those two on the right in the same way we did with the Villa game, and sort of nullifying the left-hand side again. But I am entirely confident about Saturday. We need a game. We need a really good result to make sure we've got the momentum going into Man United game. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory. Antonio to score. I think you might not start, but I reckon he might come on for 20 minutes maybe. Ben Rama and Lingard. Come on, you Irons.
Thanks to Russ from My Hammers 11 and Jake from West Ham Unofficial. Head over and subscribe to the channels. It's a good laugh. But I want to just take a quick moment to say about young Jake. Listen, mate, it's just to be your age and do what you do and talk so well about West Ham. You're doing a grand job, mate. So just keep it up and enjoy yourself. And just enjoy yourself when you do it. That's my only bit of advice, because at some point it will take over and it will get frustrating and annoying and blah blah blah, but you just enjoy it. That's what it's all about. And always remember one thing though, West Ham is the forefront of everything that we do. Look, before we head, mate, what is your last point? Any last point you want to make?
Yeah, first thing is I've got to read through the chat apparently because I've got me on my phone while watching it, and I'm being told that it's been absolutely lit in the chat, and it's going to be it makes everyone laugh, and it's full of it. I just know that 30% of it is going to be taking the mick out of the wallpaper and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to read through it and go through it again just to maybe go nighttime reading. But thank you to everyone that paid money tonight that put it up. It helps us, and it's fantastic. So thank you very much for that. And this is weird because you just had Jake and Russ doing their preview thing. That's normally what you get me to do because I'm not in part of the preview. So this is new for me. But I'm enjoying this. I'm going to be on there a lot more. And the ugly mug is going to be on people's screens a lot more, I think. So
good. That's what we like to hear, mate, and that's what we like to hear. So, listen. Well, hold on. Loads of people here saying Reese is saying he sent you on Instagram.
I did see that. Meme. I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna look it after this. So yeah.
Hello guys from Dalek. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you. Fashizi, look, is a top lad. Of course he is.
Mate.
He's been involved for many years with West Ham United, and he's going to be involved for plenty more.
It's weird not having this on my phone and not having to try and move it different angles and stuff like that. So this is
You've done well, look, mate. You've done well. It doesn't help. Look, you can't even get to the money. What you can't even.
Because your PayPal stuff, whatever it is, I don't know how it works.
Oh mate, don't. It's still there. I mean, I'd happily show people if they don't believe me. It's locked. It's a total nightmare. I've been on the
mate. Gotta find the key. Gotta find the Suchek, mate. The Suchek for the old bank.
Yeah. Luke talks sense, makes a change.
Gary.
Cheers, Gary, mate. Cheers. That was good. I feel really confident about how I present the preview. Listen, we've been going on for just over an hour and it's been manic. But listen, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment. And of course, join us tomorrow for the match day live. We'll be coming on. Haven't worked out the time yet exactly what we're going to do because we're going to be down a couple of bodies tomorrow, so
I might be available tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Right, cool, good man, excellent. And we'll let you know, and just keep an eye on the channel, and we'll keep you up to date. Anyway, he's been Luke. I've been Anton. West Ham United. Come on, you Irons.
Have it.